What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. It is early morning, Saturday, after Christmas, the 27th. And I don't expect many people to get on the stream just because of the time, and also because, typically speaking, I don't have like the most ridiculous streams, right? I have my community during, various times, more popular times. I'll get a good number of people on, but I've never done content for that reason. When I make videos, I don't make them to get 1 million views. If you haven't noticed, I drop almost daily. And the reason I do that is because as a football gamer, there's a ton of information that I like to know, right? And over time, I learn it. The way that I learn it many times is through digging deep myself. Why is that? Because the content creators seem to follow a pattern. Much of it, I should say, content-wise, is just clickbait, right? And so if all of these content creators are going for the clickbait stuff to get the most views, it leaves a lot of gaps for other useful information that people just don't cover. So I might do a video where I know I'm not going to get many views. I might get 80, right? Back in the day, it might have been 8 when I first started. And then my most popular video might get, 800. And back in the day, it would be 80. And then some videos I'll break 1,000, which for me, right, I'm not big time Billy over here. I consider awesome because I'm literally just a football gamer that's sharing my knowledge and trying to help anybody I can. That's the bottom line. So the whole point was to fill in the gaps. That's why I started content creating, is to fill in the gaps, to give all the information that people may want, help them out to get that information on whatever football game I'm covering, because that's all that I play, right? Maybe when GTA 6 comes out, that changes, because come on, it's GTA 6. But as for now, it's just football games. And when I started, even though I'd been playing FC and dabble with the idea of covering FC in the same way I'm talking about, I didn't pull the trigger because it's so saturated with content creators. So I started with UFL, but because of the direction it went, because I started dabbling in UFL, eFootball, I did end up giving FC a shot. I was one of these people that was foolish enough to think that EA Sports actually was going to give us a good game with FC 26 and really change the direction of the franchise. But I didn't think it I wasn't so foolish to think that they cared about the players like they were saying. I just thought they lost so much money from FC 25, right? Still ridiculously rich, still the highest number of players, made the most money of any football game, but for EA Sports FC, it was terrible. And so I thought because of that, they were going to selfishly change things just so they could make money again. And even with all that pressure and all that money to be able to put in, right, because they're still an extremely wealthy company with all the power in the world, all the ability in the world to make a great game, even with all that, in the pressure to actually perform after a terrible FC 25, they still dropped the ball. Totally ruining what started as a great beta, as a great starting point for FC 26. They had all of us sold, or many of us, not all of us, many of us, and they still dropped the ball. Now, some called it from the start, and kudos to you guys, you were right. Others, like myself, thought there's no way. They want to get that green number back up to whatever they wanted. They're going to give us a good game. And because they're so incompetent, they definitely failed at that. And I couldn't even imagine how bad FC 27 is going to be, because no matter what they say, they're not going to get people on board again. I know I'm totally done. I know I'm not going to be fooled for the 1,000 millionth whatever time, right? And so why am I at goals then, right? From FC, I talked about starting with UFL, talked about that going in the wrong direction. Their biggest problem over it with Strikers, the development company for UFL, is that One, they aren't very skilled at what they do. How do you know this? Well, their updates. They're terrible every time. They end up breaking more things than fixing them. Because of that, the game has become a glitch fest. And on top of that, strikers almost immediately, totally just every tagline they had, free to play, no gimmicks, no. Every tagline they had was total BS. They almost immediately showed their hand as greedy as can be, right? I would say even worse than Konami and even worse than FC, even though they can't charge as much for like the packs and the way that you can, buy packs to then get coins to get players in FC and in eFootball, the way they have the gambling, whatever it is, that aren't guaranteed. So you might put 70 in, you might put 150 in, you might put close to $200 in, right, to get 3 players, and you keep going, and they re-release that player, but with better stats or more, another Showtime skill, right? Even with all that, because of where UFL is at and how bad of a game it is, what they charge and how they do their system, it's just crazy over there. We're going to go through all that today. But that's why I'm not at UFL anymore. That's why I'm not at FC anymore. And then there's eFootball, who I believe out of all the football games came the closest to accomplishing pure football. This is before goals. The problem is they got AI happy. Like, I've never seen another company be so obsessed with taking control out of the player's hands and putting it into the control of their game's computer, the AI. To the point where they came out with Smart Assist, right? Where no matter what division you're in, from the top all the way down, you can have the AI change the shot you take, change the passes, organize your defense, make runs for you, make tackles for you. I mean, and that's just Smart Assist. Even without it, the AI is ridiculous. The way their defensive system works and the amount of AI control, it's all insane, right? And so that on top of a million other things, right? The lack of game modes, the lack of ability to spruce up the looks, which people will talk about goals. Like, oh, it's cartoon look. Guys, you see this right here, right? I'm just going to go into the arena. Okay, I'm going to do a quick glance. We're going to just do a quick little arena deal, right? I'm in the arena now. You see my player, right? This is what you see when you play, okay? Now, when you look up close, they went more the cartoon route, similar to Rematch, which is critically acclaimed, by the way. But that's the route they decided to go. If you look at the actual details in the artwork, it's good art. It's not bad art. They just went for more of that cartoon anime type of look. I could care less. If I was shooting right now with a horse, and the goalkeeper was a giraffe, I would be fine with it if it was quality football. And that's what goals is, right? And this is an alpha stage, right? So when you see me do a step over, a drag back, right? A ball roll, okay? Those are going to be sharpened up. The look of it, right? The sharpness of the look. But the effect on the pitch is already excellent. How it works in game. The shooting, right? The way that my player swings his leg when he's shooting, that's going to be sharpened up. But the effect of it is already good. The goalkeepers, the way they look when they're saving, will be sharpened up. But how the goalkeeper saves the ball, it's already good. So you see what I'm saying? Animations don't change the actual football, right? You see how sharp the finishing already is. Even that will be sharpened up more. These type of things show how far along this game is, right? And the bottom line is, in eFootball, they aren't in the alpha stage. In eFootball, they're, just like FC, over 30 years old. And yet, when you go into eFootball, you see the same outdated nonsense, right? And it's kind of, I don't really care about that as much as far as like what it means for the looks. I don't have to look at some awesome menu or oh, the player looks amazing on the pitch when I'm using Smart Assist. No, I care about what it says about their laziness and about their inability to change over time, because it's the same reason they don't have added modes. It's the same reason that they haven't listened to the player base. Not when you really look at what the players are asking for, right? So when you can't update your made up kits, your made up badges, when you can't even do what UFL, a 1 year old game, has done, where yes, they don't have licenses for teams and stuff like that, but they still have excellent customization. They signed that deal with Adidas where they have team passes, where they have exclusive only to the game cleats and kits and things like that, and the real life classics as well as new gear, so you can put on your team and put the cleats on your players, whatever you want to do, right? Even UFL, brand new, has done this, and yet Konami can't do anything of the sort. So when you're talking about the cartoon look of the made up players in goals, as if that even matters, but you're gonna fail to mention, right? If I go into in the way that I have to do this, I mean, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, the laziness. This is how you have to change a kit in eFootball. But if I just go to, I don't know, Argentina League, let's see, a made up league. Those are real. We already know what the national team kits look like. And just do, let's just say La Calera. Let's just make that up. I go to La Calera and go to uniforms. I mean, come on. Right? Come on. So, forget about all that, because if I click into FC right now, or especially UFL, you'll see some cool designs, some cool graphics added in, right? Whether it's like, oh, look at Bellingham's socks are ripped on the calves just like in real life, or wow, man, they got all the tattoos with detail, that's awesome, which I know they have that in eFootball too. Forget about all that. Let's just talk about literally the football on the pitch. So eFootball, the reason why you don't even have to go into this game yet, why I can leave this one pretty quickly, is 2 words: Smart Assist, right? But it all ties together. The same reason why they can't add some cool made up badges, or at least some cool kits, right? The reason why you still have this nonsense menu where to do things like change your kit, you have to go into the game plan, into the team, right? I even forgot how to do it. Into the team, into the base team settings, change your team. Then once you do that, you have to go out. Nope, I don't like those uniforms. Go back into game plan, go back into team. The same reason you have to do all this, right? The same logic behind why that hasn't been changed or updated is the same reason some feature like Smart Assist is still in the game, or was even put in the game, period, right? They're so disconnected from their roots. They're so disconnected from the player base that they'll never get it right, right? The quality of life changes even that FC makes, which we see how selfish they are. We see how bad they fumble. Like, you seen how bad they did with FC 25, and then to come back with FC 26 and totally just crash and burn that. I mean, they're terrible. But little things such as the quality of life fixes that they add, right, show you that the fact that Konami can't even change the quality of life to where you can just click in, go to uniforms, and change your uniforms right from here. Boom, done. Right? The fact that to go in and find all the little details, like if I want to turn off Smart Assist, right? I go out. It's been a while since I've played this, so I have all this crap. Receive all that. I go into extras. I have to go into game settings, to go into controller, to go into config 1. I have to go into config 1 again. Have to press triangle, and then I can turn off all this crap, right? Turn on or off all this stuff. it's insane. Like just the little stuff like that. But the reason why I'm talking about all this is because one of the biggest things you have to do with these football games is read between the lines, right? And something like not changing the quality of life of for your menus, like making it easier to change your uniforms or the settings, or not adding just the small details to make the game look better in each way, such as sharper kits, right? Better made up badges, which everyone makes fun of that. Rightfully so. You guys see how bad they are. Again, I could care less about it. But it just tells me what that development company's views are like how they operate, right? It's the same with say you go into an interview, right? I could care less if someone wears a suit or this or that. That's not, if I was doing an interview, do I really care about that? No. But what it shows me is how much they care, right? If someone comes into an interview and they have a sleeveless shirt on, they got tattoos out and all that, do I care? No, I got tattoos. But it would show me, okay, clearly they didn't give a damn if they got this job, because typically speaking, there are a lot of people that care. So you typically try a little harder, go out and buy a long sleeve button up shirt, some slacks, something like that. They couldn't even do that. So they might have a great interview personality wise, but there's going to be something there that's a red flag. Not because I care about that, just like I don't care about how hard it is to change a uniform and all that. It just goes to show, okay, that's a red flag. So then when you get out on the pitch and you see all the nonsense, it's not surprising. It makes sense, right? Now, let me show you in comparison. I turn this off. I go into goals. Okay, let me show you in comparison where you're like, okay, I'm not following. What's the big deal about, how hard it is to change your uniform, or the lack of detail behind their made up badges and kits or whatever. Okay, well, you go into an alpha mode of goals. You go in, they have made up players. Now, in here you see the age of my player, height, weight, all that, but the age is important because there's a virtual clock. Every time I start to use the player in a game, a clock starts, right? When you're not playing, the clock freezes, but every time you use the player, clock starts, and then within a week, they age 1 year. Once these players hit 34, they retire. Now, I don't have any details on if they're going to start like decreasing stats as they get older and closer to retirement. That would be cool, because it just adds in another element of that true football managerial / tactical side that you have to look at. But even if they don't, it removes the ceiling from the team building system, because you won't be able to just go out, get all mythics eventually, which I don't even have one mythic in this alpha mode, but you won't be able to get a full team of mythics and just that's it. Now there's no need to build your team, because those players will retire, and you'll need to look at when they're going to be retiring, what positions you're going to need to replace. When you pack players, because of this upgrade system, you want to look at how much the player can upgrade, their overall stats, and where they're at. Do they have room to improve, or should you sell them and perhaps buy a pack to eventually get a better player? Like, the way that they do it has so much care behind it and so much detail into how it's going to add to the overall team building experience. And then you go into the details department, right? And you see every player has this little tidbit right here. Every single player has this tidbit, which gives you a little clue and insight, if you're not as good at stat reading, into how that player is going to perform on the pitch. Gives a little personal detail a lot of times. And then, not to mention every detailed stat, which eFootball has that and I love. It also gives you all of the stats in detail. Goals per 90, right? Expected goals per 90. So you can see how much of their chances translate to goals. Assists, right? Unfortunately, I wish they did this for defense, but they don't. But when I go into the defenders, I wish they had interceptions and tackles as well. Maybe they'll add it too. Again, this is just the alpha. But these types of detail matter, And it shows you kind of where the development team, kind of how they operate, if you will, on these details. Unfortunately, you have to go into the web browser to get in. Sometimes it takes a second. Let's see if this one's quicker. Yep. You go out and come back in. So I wish for defenders who aren't going to have many goals or goals per 90 or expected goals per 90, they would have tackles, interceptions, headers won, stuff like that, or at least tackles, interceptions. But even just this detail is excellent. That's not all, though. When you go into goals, you can look at how every stat, not just what it means, like, okay, accelerate is how long it takes a player to get to their top speed. No. It will actually tell you, like for interceptions, okay, what this stat shows you is translates to the size of the interception box around the player. So how far away from the player the ball can be where they'll still have the ability to intercept it. So the higher the interception, the more range they have, right? Meaning the opponent's going to have to make an even better pass to beat a high intercept stat player, right? Same with tackles. It tells you what exactly that means, right? When you press the tackle button, you can be further away and you're still more likely to win the ball cleanly. Things like that. Like, it tells you how it translates. So when you go onto the pitch, you have the exact details. And the reason it's so important is because in goals, everything is manual control, right? That's the underlying factor in this game. So, yes, you don't have the Hullets, Vieiras, and all this like eFootball does. But every player still is unique to you. They're unique to the game, yes, but unique to your team. But you still have to do your due diligence to understand the strengths and weaknesses of those players to then utilize them correctly on the pitch. The same way you do in eFootball, UFL, and FC. It's just they're not the real life players. But there's no doubt that you can make an argument, and maybe even some people would say it's not an argument, it's a no-brainer, that having what Goals has is better than having 17 versions of Hullet, and each version is just a little better than the last. Meaning once you pack one, oh, I get them forever. I spent $150, but I get Hullet and Ibra forever. Well, in a year, they're probably going to release another 1 to 2 Ibras, another 1 to 2 to 3 Hullets. And eventually there's going to be not only better stats, but more Showtime skills. Way better boosters. To where your Ibra and Hullet that you got a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever, is now obsolete because all the players they're releasing and re-releasing, even if you skip the Ibras and Hullets, all of them are getting more and more powerful. To the point where you say you're not going to spin again, or you're happy you get to keep the players quote-unquote forever. But when there's a much better striker or much better defender now because of all the upgrades, so you keep buying players, eventually you're going to have to buy another Hullet, buy another Ibra, and so on and so forth. Right? And so it's a vicious cycle. NFC, they do the yearly refresh, which is actually the best case in that type of game for the yearly refresh. But for someone like me who's been playing these games all my life, I can tell you it gets old every single year. Even the chase for Hullet and R9 and Vieira, those are the big three, right? And you have your Mbappe, your Janol, and all them. I packed Mbappe 2 years ago for the first time, and it's like, now I'm over it. I packed Mbappe, yes. But then it still wasn't good enough because by X amount of time into the game, right, what is it? Comes out in September, by like January, December, you can't really use them anymore. Right? And then it's just over. And every year it's kind of the same thing, but at the top of it is going for these players. I can't imagine those whales who every year have the full icon teams. They have Hullet, R9, Rio at center back with Maldini, Zambrotta at right back, at left back, whoever it is. The same exact Vieira at CDM every year. Like, they have the same players every year. I couldn't even imagine, because even just the chase for them and then the constantly repeating promo cards where you're going for the same players. It might be a different promo each year, but it's like the same players at the same time of the year are good. You face the same type of rats who go for the same. You got your, big strong players that they want to run through you and go for tacklebacks. You'll get your Holland special card, your Sorloth special cards, whatever other bigger player. You'll get your players that want to dance around with somebody. One year it might be Rodman and Pena. Another year it might be whoever. Doesn't matter, right? You get your other small, what would you call it? Small, shifty player that's broken this year, and every year it's like a vicious cycle of the same type of thing. One year tiki-takas OP, the next year Finesse Plus is OP, the next year Power Shots OP, and then throughout the years, by the way, that changes. I remember there was a time in FC where Architect playstyle became the best because you wanted to turn every player lengthy, because lengthy was just far superior as far as sprinting and all that. It's stupid stuff like that, right? That takes away from football. And that's like the big thing behind FC. And it's the same with UFL, who tried to copy off of them. They now have ability perks, and half these ability perks should be either A, in the game already because they're movement oriented. Like if I go into UFL, you'll see for a wingback, a perk is overlaps aggressively, right? Oh, you mean like if I want to put my settings on wingback attacking? So now it's an ability perk to have a movement. Valverde has one. He's the only player in the game, unless they added some since, and he has one where as a CM he actually tracks back like a true box to box. That is considered a quote-unquote ability, meaning that other CMs simply don't track back. They're not true box-to-boxes. You just don't have that in UFL unless you pull them back manually. One player, a certain Valverde card, has the ability to actually push up in the CM position, but then track back and cover that gap and truly get back like a box-to-box. That should just be a setting, a player, a setting in the tactics, right? Or at the very least, a lot of players should have that, whoever's more box-to-box in real life. But no, development companies who are clueless do things like this, ruining the game with the showtime skills, the play styles, the ability perks, whatever you want to call it. It's the same thing. It's all crutches to take away from the skill gap as far as players go. And for the development team, it was ways to add flair to the game in ways that incompetent developers try to like make the game look cooler or almost cover up the shortcomings of the actual football. You see what I'm saying? And so all these little details matter, right? Who cares about licenses and real players and all this? Who cares about any of that when you can't put a good product on the pitch? And all these little details matter, right? When you go into FC and try to play a game and you have terrible connection year after year after year, you know that EA Sports either A, can't do anything about it because their servers are just trash and that they've already done everything they can, right? Because you know they don't want to lose players and it's starting to be a huge thing, but they don't address it. So they either can't do anything about it or it's way too expensive. They don't care enough to spend the money. Either way, right? You have to read between the lines on that. If they could have done something, they would have. Same with the jersey changes in eFootball. As small as a detail as it is, either Konami just doesn't care, they can't do it. Well, we know as far as like making it easier to change settings, to change kits and all that stuff, the quality of life stuff, we know that it's not there, that they're incapable. Konami could easily change that stuff. It's just that they don't care. And what else do you know about Konami? Right? They aren't good with interaction with the player base. They aren't good at adding the things that clearly, if you just do a quick scour over social media, you'll see that the player base always wants these specific changes. Never are any of them added by Konami. Never. So that not caring about changing the little quality of life stuff, it translates. You can read between the lines and see, and guess what? They also don't care enough to make these changes or additions or removals that the player base wants. They just don't care. In UFL, you have the same glitches that have been in the game forever, and they'll come after, with patch after patch after patch. And at the beginning, they were very good at being transparent and talking to the player base, but yet every patch they would break more than they would fix. Some glitches just wouldn't be removed, right? And so with you strikers, it was clear that they were willing to make the changes. They cared enough to make them, but they didn't have the ability. They aren't smart enough. And why do they keep pushing the game, but they're less transparent now? Because they wanted money. So now they're as greedy as ever. If they clearly like the shortcuts, they clearly don't have skill and can use this stuff. And those are the players we can get money from. So they went from at first trying to put a good football game on the pitch, right? With the narrative of, I think even for a while they didn't push it as an official tagline, but they definitely promoted when people were saying the FC killer, is UFL the new king, is UFL the FC. Come on. And then they went away from that and they started pushing the gimmicky stuff to make money. They stopped being transparent after the first few patches where they literally couldn't get the glitches out. They would try and they would make it worse. So what do they do to show that, this is true? Like, this is where reading between the lines comes in. Well, at one point they have a terrible headball meta going on where it's just ridiculous headers no matter what, right? And I'll actually go to UFL right now and show you some crap that defends what I'm saying. But they end up with this headball meta. Instead of trying to remove it because they know they can't, they always fail when they're trying to remove glitches. So in this particular one, it was they released a patch where the taller defender, or the defender's automatically going to win the header. This is legit. The defender's automatically going to win the header unless the attacking player is taller. Not unless the attacking player has better heading stats or better jumping or anything that had nothing to do with anything except for height. Yes, you heard that right. So like a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo was screwed. He wasn't tall enough. Therefore, at this time, you would go after your Haalands, your Sorloths, or even better, Luca, the Italian striker, 7 foot whatever. So instead of getting rid of that nonsense where people would just have Luca in, even though he was super low rated, they'd have him in, cross it to him every time, he'd win every header. Similar to the headball meta that they just had that they finally got rid of with Haaland, which was the third one. They used to have a lobbed cross meta way back where the goalie would come for the ball, but Haaland would out jump the keeper and head it in every single time. Right? And these kind of jokes continue to happen, but finally they started actually supporting him and giving it in. So you know this because as this was going on with this Luca where the taller player automatically won the header if it was a taller attacker, no defender was taller than Luca. So they released a special Luca card to go from the lower rated card that you got, right? They released a special Luca because they knew everybody would spend money to get him. So instead of getting rid of these glitches like they tried at the beginning, they started pushing players that fit these different nonsense ways to play. Okay, so you can see where these changes happen. You can read between the lines. Will UFL ever admit that it's just Strikers is a terrible development company, in the games, not trying to be good football anymore? It just wants to keep the players it has and keep making money. No, they'll never say that ever. But that's 100% what they do, without a doubt. They push the nonsense all the time. You see here, though, they do good with the animations in the art. What would you call it? They do good with catching your eye, right? Like even this Supreme Team stuff, they've done. They keep getting better and better with that. Unfortunately, on the pitch, they can't do anything. Right? They never improve. Let's see what kind of items. Like the stadiums, some of these boots, like the official stuff mixed with the made up stuff and the balls and everything. They've done a great job there. They truly have. You see all these packs? You see the points and what you're available to use? All this stuff. Let's see, this is a new team pass. Oh, and it kept my star points, so that's supposed to restart, I thought. Or maybe because it's in the same season. But, no, it's still the same season, sorry. Let's see this new stuff they added on. I forgot which date. So you still can't get the 93 automatically. Let's see what you can get here. $15 pack openings guaranteed to get the Michael Owen. Oh, they added a second legend to this Carlos one. I didn't realize that. But where is there a pack? Surely there's a pack in here somewhere to get Owen. And maybe I'm wrong. Let's see how they did it. So these packs, these are the star points I had from the last time. Now, right off the bat, you can go buy star points. And then, other than that, to get these top cards, if you're not buying star points, you have to buy packs in store, right? And so that's what UFL Strikers, the development company, is centered on. Is just getting as much money as they can. So I'll give you a little example. I'll open these. Let's see here. So I have 65 points available. LP, I have 344 LP. So I have leftover LP even. Here's the packs. Here's the different cards. So these are just mixes. Then they have a few like Christmas cards in there. These are the Supreme Team players, which are like far and away the best players that you can get. See, Supreme Team Pack Light. 2 players in there. So Mastery 3 card is guaranteed within 60 openings. So each of these is like $1. You'd have to open 60 plus bucks, 119, so like 65 bucks, let's just say, let's just roughly, it might be 70. 60 bucks to get guaranteed 1 card. That is insanity, right? Let's keep going down. Where are those Christmas packs here? Yes, mixes, and then they have those Christmas cards available. Let's see what we have, 344. So out of this 344 LP, if I wanted to buy star points from the team pass, I could get 35. So 65. 35. So let's see. I'm trying to see what else they added in here. A UFL kit. They added this. An own card. So that, and then what else was there? And then these. Unboxing pack light. 9860. So let's do this. Just because I have this available, the 344. Let's see. Boom. So I have 100, so I can open this. Boom. So I open this. You go to the store. And then this is how their packs work. So check this out. And you do this over and over and over. That was about $4 worth of LP that I won, by the way. So that's what I got. Which is a nothing, by the way. That is a nothing. Boom. And then you just keep opening those and opening those. So there's nothing. That was about $4 worth that it took to open that. So you can imagine, it's literally the whole entire thing. So it's saying I have packs. No, nothing here. Never mind. They're saying there's new packs available. 109. 700. 1,000 of these. So now you can open those with star points. So they are doing a little bit more where you can open these types of players with star points now. So for instance, if I go to my club and I do this, but I'll keep, let's say, Yamal because he's good, and Carlos. I don't know why these other ones are on the bench. The rest of them I can get rid of. I'll even keep him. So now I can go to the store, and this is all you can buy. Now this is actually better than it was, but this is all you can buy with these. Is these packs right here, and you see what I get out of it. Now, one of 5 of those is guaranteed. I can get a reward, and these would be the rewards. And honestly, this is way better than it used to be. But, I mean, you can get someone as low as this down here. And that's all you can get with the store stuff, right? Unboxing days. So they're adding some stuff to it. Like you can unbox Owen, you can unbox certain packs and stuff. But everything at the end of the day is about money. Every single thing. So this looks like a, what is this? Hold to unlock for free. So I can unlock these for free because I missed these days. So they added this. This is something new. But look what I'm getting out of it, guys. And even when you put in money, you're not guaranteed. But you guys can watch me open all this. And then now I'd have to buy. So you see here. And then I can still go and buy this to unlock these things. Like, look. December 26th. I missed it. I didn't log in. I can still go in and buy it. That's kind of the thing. That's kind of the trend. It's all about buying stuff. Now, why does all this matter? Whether it's FC and the paid team pass that you have, or if you want the best of the best players in FC, you literally have to spend thousands. And in eFootball, to get their new best players, you have to spend hundreds, right? The reason why all this is relevant is because all of these things, notice I haven't at all talked about, or at least not much, the on the pitch gameplay. Right? How good is the football? How fun are the games? All of these extra nonsense things where greed is involved, where the game, is either focusing enough or they're being too lazy, it all translates to on the pitch. eFootball, just like they don't care about making the quality of life improvements, they could easily they don't care about making changes on the pitch. For years, they have ignored what the player base wants on the pitch. UFL, just like they are all about money in the menus, everything's buy, right? Everything's about you putting more money in. On the pitch, all of the players that they add, the perks, everything they do, it's all about pushing you to spend money to get players X, Y, and Z, right? When the head ball nonsense was going on, in the taller player won the head ball, they released a special Luka card. Boom, we can make money on that. Holland, absolute beast in the air when all that was going on. What did you see? 2 or 3 special Holland cards, right? Now, with dribbling and finesse shots, like this low-driven finesse shot, I forgot what it's called exactly, their stupid name for it. With that now being the meta, now they release Michael Owen and then these special Mbappe cards. And there's still the Holland there, though, for those who still want to go for some crosses, right? Everything's based on you having to spend money to get these players, and then those players are super overpowered, right? So literally where they focus on saying free to play, it's the complete opposite. And then FC, as much as they said we fixed the bad connections, we fixed this, and now it's all about football and this, defense went back to AI, where you get rewarded for not touching your defenders, right? They added the paid team pass part, which is, we won't even go into that. They said they would get away from paid team packs, and then the first thing they did was release team packs that totally messed up the market, which they totally still have screwed that up. And then on the pitch, not only is it AI defense now, but the meta's been terrible all year. Running around in circle, what they call fidget spin dribbling, right? Parking the bus, letting your AI defend, winning the ball, and spamming through ball, right? The counter through ball meta. 4-5-1, 5-4-1s, shit like that is what you have to use every year. It's just one formation is the most powerful. It's all a joke in every single game across the board, right? So right now, when I go into eFootball, these are the free contracts I get. Oh yeah, the game crashes here and there, so you'll have to excuse me. I have to restart the game, but I'll go and show you some of this crap that you get here, right? And nothing they give you is ever even close to the paid players because they want you to gamble, right? I'm just showing how terrible every game is. By process of elimination slash, I mean, Goals is doing a great job. It's not just because these other games shoot themselves in the proverbial nuts. Because Goals is incredible in every way. It's just when you go through each of these games, whether you see the obvious or you read between the lines, either way you look at it, these games are in the gutter. They're on their way down. And there's no way true football players are going to keep playing this trash. Happy holidays. There's just no way. Whether you're sick of spending money, you're sick of being ignored, right? You're sick of the pure greed, sick of the terrible connection in game, you're sick of all the AI control, sick of the stupid metas, right, that take away from football every time, every single year. Every time a change is made, it makes the game worse. Whatever it is, you can go down the line. And everything I'm describing, that's a UFL problem. That's an FC problem. That's a UFL and eFootball problem. That's an eFootball and FC problem. Oh, that's just an FC problem. That's all these things, right? You can see in each game. So now we go in. Here's a special player list right now, right? So they have a Seedorf, Alcantara, and Kubo. 150 players to get 3. So if you add that up, I could spend up to what, like $100 on this pack to get these players. When I first started, it was double boosters, but it was 1 Showtime skill. Now, 2 out of the 3 will have 2 Showtime skills. 1 will have 1. They're all double boosters. You watch. It went from single to double. Pretty soon it's going to be triple boosters and 3 Showtime skills and 4 of them. By the way, you see this Clarence Seedorf? Look at the stats here. That's not him all the way like juiced up. You see that? Notice this real quick. That's a Real Madrid version of Seedorf. When you go into my team, right, you see I've spent plenty of money to get this team, Romario, Ibra, all this. Plenty of money, which is one of the best things right now, spending 0 money in goals. But look who I have here. Right? Stats, brilliant. That Seedorf that you see might have a little better stats, if not just the same. But, that Seedorf has 2 Showtime skills. I only have 1 with this Seedorf. And his Showtime skill is Phenomenal Pass. Right? He's on my bench. But then they release that one. Then pretty soon they'll release Juiced Up Romario, by the way. This is one of the best, if not the best team. This is one of the best teams you can have in eFootball, right? But how much did I even play with Romario before I left? Let's see. How many games? 24 games only. Pretty good, 18 goals, 4 assists, but I left because the game was so bad. I have one of the best teams, have the money to spend on whatever I want, right? So it has nothing to do with that. You can see in UFL I do the same. It's all the same. It's just the bullshit on the pitch, in that ripples on and off the pitch, because these development companies, like, they all have the same tendencies, and it spreads across the board. Let's see where I can get these free contracts at. Brazilian League players, J-League. Or are these 4 free contracts? So these are the type of players you get for free, for instance. So here I got... what the... I guess that was a chance steal type of thing. I don't know. So that... the African League, African Cup of Nations players, which it's pretty cool that they, sponsor this. I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, look at the dog shit you get. It is insanity. This is what they give you for free, and then you see what you have to pay for. Even these players, if you get them, they couldn't break into my starting lineup. Like, you literally have to play. Here's my free icon. I think I get to pick one of these. Oh, I thought you got to pick. Oh, I think if you play, you get to pick one. I already have an Oliver Kahn. I haven't been playing. So then you get one chance at these guys, but then you would get to pick. I have the better Oliver Kahn anyway. Let's see what Spirit Roar does. These are always funny to me. It makes your defense better or something, I remember. Another African Cup of Nations player I can pick. We'll go Mo Salah. But you see the difference. None of these guys can even touch my roster. And it's the same every week. Then there's barely any events. You go play. Even when you play, it's all smart assist. Just the fact that there's smart assists in this game, right? I won't touch it. Just because of that, I won't touch it. I don't care how good the players are. I don't care how close to good football it is. It makes no sense to play this game with how everything is on the pitch. 0. Right? So now that game's gone. So you get rid of that one. I already showed you how ridiculous UFL is. And you can look at all the players, the teams, everything. If you go play UFL, you can literally hold R1 and R2 and turn your player into a 100+ pace player. Okay? If you go play FC, most likely you're going to get a terrible connection game where you're extremely delayed. You have players that try to take advantage of that. And then even if you don't, you're going to play a game where you get rewarded for not touching your defenders. You get rewarded for parking the bus. Then you just spam through ball, get your player through on goal, and shoot. Right? If you want to see how ridiculous any of these games are, I've done reactions where the big content creators are just ripping these games apart. There's a million on FC. eFootball, they're a little more reserved, but their biggest content creator literally got on talking about Smart Assist, which is still in the game, saying the whole community will be gone if you don't change this. And that was right after a trip you made to Japan. Now, if I make a trip to, formerly Canada, now I don't know, Saudi Arabia, I guess, because they bought out EA Sports FC, to talk to EA Sports, and then I come home, and one of the big things I talked to them about was their terrible servers, terrible connection, and their outdated game engine that makes for glitchy gameplay and stuff. And then after I return home, I say, hey, talks went well. That's all I say. But then I make a video and I say, if they do not change their servers and get an updated engine, just restart their game, they're going to lose their entire community. Everyone's sick of it. After I already just had a meeting with them, right? What do you think that means? Anybody in their right mind who makes a ton of money covering, is the biggest content creator. Let's just say I was the biggest content creator as well. Anybody who went and had a great meeting and who was told, oh, we're going to fix the servers by doing X, Y, and Z. We're adding this game engine, or we can't tell you the exact details, but these things will be fixed. You would make a video and you would say, guys, I know everyone's mad about the terrible connection, the outdated server, but trust me, an answer is coming. You will be happy. Just, be patient. Or, guys, I can't wait to tell. I wish I could tell you, but I can't wait till you see what EA Sports has done to make better gameplay with the servers, the engine, all of it. It's going to be amazing. You would say something. But to make a video where I wouldn't call it threaten, but warn, like EA Sports, If you don't change this, there's going to be an issue. And then say, right now there's no indication that anything will be done, but we can only hope. Well, that means that your meeting didn't go very well. That means that what you went there to talk about, or one of the main things, was either ignored, you didn't get an answer you liked, or you didn't get an answer at all about it. Right? So you got that with eFootball. So many of their players are in denial, or I love the loyalty part. They have a fiercely loyal, player base. But it's also kind of pathetic in some ways, because you're talking about a game with Smart Assist where AI is doing things. You're talking about a game that derives from PES, and yet the computer takes over even without Smart Assist. It's way too AI controlled. A game that had always been and prided itself on skill, right? And so now, after 1 hour of talking about all of these things in all these games, right, where you can, whether I speak eloquently or not, describing all these issues, describing game by game, UFL, eFootball, FC, what's going on, you get the gist, and you know yourself. You can fact check anything I'm saying. You get the point, which is that all those games are trash in different ways, in similar ways. It's just they're all trash. So now we get into goals. They have the anti-time wasting. They made stoppage time equal for both players with a similar anti-time wasting type of thing. They made a team building system where your players' strengths and weaknesses matter, where it's a cool, unique thing where you have, yes, unique players that are also unique to your team, but you also have an identity for these players, and it's important to know their strengths and weaknesses. Great stat keeping, right? I love how you can go check the whole history of your team. Top 500 squats, top golden boot winners, silver boot. The detail is incredible, and this is just an alpha stage, right? And then you get into the actual gameplay, and it's just football. It's just football. All that garbage I talked about in menus, in game, and the other games, Goals doesn't have any of it. It's just a fact. Goals does not have any of it. I mean, fact check me on any of it. In fact, in such an early stage, the fact that Goals has the remedy for a lot of the stuff I talked about in the other games is insane. They still have so much to add in this game. And the fact that it's already where it's at now, which is what I'm about to showcase for you, right, is crazy. And that classic feel that many people talk about, that's a compliment, because Goals has gotten back to how those other games were before the development teams on all those games started focusing on all the non-football stuff, all the bells and whistles that took away from the actual game itself. Terrible forced pass, and so I get punished. Nice goal. My opponent's up 1-0. I make a mistake, I go down. Simple as that. Good ball. Oh, nice block. Manual block. Opponent makes a mistake. It's 1-1. Everything's your decisions on the pitch. Everything. Goal. He should have switched to his center back and marked me. Didn't do it. I'm up 2-1. That dribbler I had right there, 92, elite dribbling. My opponent needs to recognize that now and make changes, or he's going to get burned. You can see the stats in the corner, and you can see, oh my god, terrible defending. And you can see how the player is, so now it's 2-2. Terrible defending on my part, and he might do it again here. Oh, and I dribble out of bounds. He's got to stop that or I'm going to work him with it the whole time. Oh my God, there's terrible. I'm diving in everywhere. You're in. Boom! Dude, my dude is smoking them on the dribble. Whether it's a 0-0 game or a high-scoring game. Alright, I gotta quit diving in because there's a little bit of delay, which is gonna happen. There's limited servers here because it's an alpha. And yet, everything's in my hands, in my control. It's all about pure football. He's not marking the wings very well. I'm not marking the centers very well. Good header win. Sparks, you're in. There he goes. He did it there. Now I can start getting the center a little bit better. To be fair, my defense was horrible just diving in. Look, there's that red line. You can't just keep holding the ball. No, wrong player. Good save. Go watch that striker. No way, I was there. Aw, you tackleback fucker. Nice try, you little shithead. Good. No! No way. Oh my God. Good D. Stopped him. He's getting a little lucky though. Look at, you're in. Oh my God, she's in. Nice read by him though. You're in. Oh my God, what a ball. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, now I gotta go for the center. Now he really knows. Terrible defense by me. Underestimating what my opponent could do. So now it's basically 0-0 first half, but I know what he's going for. 4-5-1. I don't know where his wingbacks are, but I don't care. I can't resume or anything. What's going on? Okay. Gotta focus. Good. Look at that. Oh, wrong player. I thought he would go for my dribble or to mark the player for the pass. You're in. Oh my God. See, guys, there's a little delay there. Good read. No. This dude is the luckiest little prick I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, this game, bro. You get punished though, man. These guys can get so lucky though. It drives me nuts. No, see what I mean by the luck? Went to the wrong player. But this is just an alpha stage too, dude. And it's still the most fun game by far. Good. Good, you're in. Oh, you're in. Good. Good. You're in. What a ball. Look at that ball. Lucky little prick. He's getting luckier than shit, dude. No. See, so they'll fix a lot of the stuff. And they'll have Oh, that was stupid. I knew that was going to happen. You are the luckiest mother trucker I've ever seen in my life. See, they'll have all that stuff fixed. Offsides, damn it. Oh my god, no way. Oh my god, dude. Have you ever seen a luckier little bitch in your life? There it is. No, why did he do that cut? This dude sucked. That was my own fault, though. Terrible defending. And then I couldn't finish off those inline runs. I played like shit, and I got beat. Deservedly so. At the end of the day, even at this stage, knowing what they're going to add, I can't say anything about it. I cannot say that about any game other than this one. That was like one of the worst games to showcase as far as like how bad I played. There's other content creators that would erase that because I saw how low ranked he was. Like, if we go, let's go look at this dude's record. I mean, he was awful. And you're going to be able to change it, but not yet. You can't change the button configs, Valley. But even at this stage, without the ability to do everything, right, which a loser like that benefits from. Why do I say loser? It's hard to explain if you don't know the game. If you know the game, that type of loser is taking advantage of every shortcut in goals, whereas I try to still play. Like in that first half when I was trying to shut him down and tackle, right, and then he would run right by me, give me a shoulder challenge, and I got the ball. Like he had zero skill, but it's not going to take him anywhere. However, because it's this stage of the game, I know better. I didn't follow suit. He got a win. So a loser like that probably won't end up playing goals. He'll end up at eFootball or somewhere. But it still doesn't make me look any better. I look like shit, and yet there's no other person to blame but myself. Period. There's no other person to blame but myself. And that was like a terrible... Like, if Goals saw that game, they should be like, bro, why are you making our game look bad? Like, I'm the one who made the game look like shit there in a lot of ways. Because we know it's an alpha stage. We know they don't have all the abilities. Right? And yet I still play like shit. But yeah, you look at a loser like this. 1539, I mean, look how bad he is. The fact that I lost to this bad of a player is a joke. It really is. Notice how I knew how bad he was before I even went in. That is horrible. That is a horrible record. But it's clearly playing that bad isn't going to get you much. You got to win over me, though, which was embarrassing. I lost, what, 16 SR from it. Should have lost more. Should have lost like literally 1,000 SR playing that bad. Oh, man, that's got to be probably the worst loss. But yeah, he was going for everything that is a shortcut in the game, similar to what the other football games have, but in their full release. He was going for everything that's wrong with the other games, and that's only wrong with Goals, not because the game's bad, the devs are bad like the other games, because it's such an early version. Hopefully I'll get to play that loser again eventually, when I'm not playing like such dog shit. And hopefully I can actually do the game justice. There are a couple of those plays, like that one tap in the second half where I was trying to center and it went to my second player, but it's also because I probably powered it too hard. So yeah, hopefully this player does. I don't think there's not many players with losing records though. Like, to be that bad in Goals, you have to be pretty terrible. So hopefully this player actually tries to play without using shortcuts. What's up, Joel? Alright, let's see this. Good. Boom. Boom. Yeah, this hopefully is an actual football game and not a shortcut fest. We'll find out, though. Damn, I gotta just cut those and shoot them. No one's marking those inline runs, bro. I don't know why. Sparks is strong on the ball. Oh, I thought I could turn that corner on. If I could go back, I'd do a drag back there. You're in. What a ball. Oh. Man, I'm rusty as shit, by the way. I won that Christmas Cup and I haven't played since. Good. Good block. Good defense. I love the manual defense. All they have to add is really a shoulder challenge, and this game's set defensively. Good. See how when you're playing someone that actually plays, you're both moving the ball and playing football. Let's see if you can get the inline now. Boom. Offsides, damn it. Great ball. Damn, he read it right again. Good. Oh. Good. Throw him off. No, I'm cutting. I feel like I am. Good. Ball roll. No way. Good ball. Safe. Yep. I was gonna say, you little bastard. Let's hoodie on. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ha! Nice try, dipshit. See how they always go for the shortcuts? I know it, but I'll do the same, don't worry. I'll return the favor. I guess if you don't mark it, that's your own fault. Oh. Good ball. Oh. Oh my god. See, dude? So look, that's where they got to add the shoulder challenge. But his dribbling is elite, and look what he did here. I'll show you. Committed too late. Look, boom. He committed too late, and I sprint dribbled. So as ugly as that was, 1,000% it was on him. But I think they need to add something to change that, because a defender wouldn't have. Well, maybe. I mean, you could push it around a defender, but they'd have to add some kind of animation to make it look better. Oh my gosh, dude. Unbelievable. Thanks, Enzino. So you guys didn't even see that whole last game. Dude, I hate when I do that. I'm so sorry. Dude, Valley and Joel asked. I'm surprised when I was announcing or like commentating the game, no one else said something like, dude, what a ball. Look at that ball. What? She couldn't have got there? How? No, I do that sometimes. I hate when I do that. Oh, you lucky prick. I read you like a book. Oh, dude, what? What a ball. Oh my god, just a little too heavy each time. Look at that. Read it again like a book. Oh, I thought I read him there too. You're in. What a ball. There we go. What a ball. That's goals. See, that last player I played against, as you've seen from his losing record, that might have been the first player I played with a losing record, but I lost to him. Even though it was totally on me. 100%. I want to say it again. That last game, I lost 4-3 to an awful player. 100% on me. Got too arrogant in many situations. But he also went for every shortcut in the book. That 100% will be removed from the game by full release. No! I almost hit it my own goal. I tried to slide tackle, guys. Dude, really? I read that a year ago and you still went for it. That last you went for every shortcut in the book, meaning in alpha mode, like, there's no shoulder challenge. So if I just do this over and over, I can just hold the ball forever here. But I'm not going to do that because I want to play football, right? I could just slow dribble the whole time. And it's going to be very hard for him to win the ball. And I could do that to try to create goals too if I wanted. But why would I do that? Why would I go for that? Now that corner kick, you can easily mark that near post. It's super OP. Look at that tackle. Oh my God, Shabangu, you're a monster. That's super OP. And if they don't mark it, though, that's their fault. So that's where I'll say, okay, I get it. Because it's kind of ratty because I know what they're doing. They're going for a freebie because that nobody, the defender, you have to manually mark that near post. Look at that. That's manual defense, bro. That's why everyone talks about the defense in this game. Oh, look at the goal rattling. That was sick. This dude's got to be pissed. Wow, it didn't register my pass there. I got lucky. He should at least have a goal. I've gotten lucky so far. That's that 92 dribbling. Oh, I should have kept close dribbling. My defense tightened up, but see what I'm saying? It's all about football. Look at this. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. Oh, terrible ball, but that was my fault. Coach is a striker, though. Shooting and sprinting is all he can do. He's an uncommon card. He's a specialist, let's call him. Good drag back. Look at this. Boom, boom, cut, finish. Oh, what a save. And that's going to be the ball game. But you see, it's pure football. It's all your decision making. I wish I didn't have my screen. I mean, part of me is like, oh man, it saved me from you guys seeing me play like total shit and lose to a terrible player. Or wait, the last game you did get to see. I didn't have it up. I'm glad. So, this game you didn't get to see the beginning. I think you saw the last game though. Let me see. You see the difference in how good the football can be. Last you went for every shortcut in the book, meaning it, but not yet you. Right, which will lose make me look any better. I look like. What's up, Joel? He's going for right. That challenge. No way. Got the ball. Like he had zero skill. But it's there it is. Okay, good. You guys saw. Yeah, this game I played absolutely shit. I can start getting this. It's way too AI control. I mean, good header. That was a great goal. Dude, my dude is. Oh, and that Alonso's dribbling is so good. Bells and whistles that took away from the actual. I get punished. Nice goal. Oh. And you can see, oh my God, terrible. To recognize that now and make changes, or he's going to get burned. You can see the stats in the corner. Oh my God, look at that defending, dude. Oh, that was I mean, I played horrendous. But we got it back there. And you see where I'm at overall rating. You see where my opponent is. It's just, that's crazy. But it can happen if you're not if you're not dialed in. So the whole point, though, was just to show you how good the game is. I feel so bad for goals that I played how I did in the first game, but it's gonna happen. If anything, let it be a lesson to you. Like, you have to be dialed in, bro, because it's actually, now that I think of it, it's a good lesson, because when you play bad in goals, you play freaking bad, dude. Meaning, there is no AI. There is no animations to save you, like on those tackles I was going for and just way off on my commitments. Like when I committed for tackles, just way off. There is no like, oh, the AI will push you towards the attacker and help you win the ball, or oh, the animation triggers when you press the tackle button and will do the work for you. No, you have to do the work. You have to come in an angle where you win the ball. If you misread something horribly, you're gonna look horrible. Like if you overpower it a little too much, it's gonna go to your second striker, even though that first striker's there for a tap in, like the last game, right? And if you take away the little shortcut shit, like I showed you the little dribbling, so that type of player, they go for that on purpose. Like, oh, my opponent doesn't have this, and this because it's an alpha stage. So I'm going to use that since I can right now to win. Like, no, that's a wrong way to look at it, because it won't be in the final game. But what will be is, if you defend as bad as me, you deserve to get punished, whether I had the ability to shoulder challenge or this or that or not. Right? And that's all the beauty of goals. It may look uglier at times, but would you rather have that or you not doing anything, the AI doing it, but it looks cool, but you're not doing anything? It's animations or it's AI, right? It's the silliest thing in the world. But anyway, that's what this was. It's just more of an impromptu. See, is there new tournaments? It's more of an impromptu. Nope, still the same. I won this before. More of an impromptu stream to kind of just talk about all the nonsense because I couldn't sleep with all the other games. And even that, like, I definitely wasn't as well spoken as I wanted to be. Wasn't clear on, dividing each game and talking about things in particular. I'm sure to some people it will sound like, what the hell is he talking about? The bottom line is, if you look into the details of each game, each development company, you can see the patterns. You can see why eFootball struggles like they do, right? Their lack of care, their lack of consideration to add what the players want into the game on the pitch is exactly why they don't change anything off the pitch and it still looks the same old, right? The FC approach of terrible connection, terrible gameplay, right? Because of an outdated server, and then the trash they do to try to cover it up with the AI defending, because defending was too hard for some players. Counter through ball meta, the fact there's always that one strongest formation, strongest playstyle, strongest player type, like all that bullshit, and then trying to hide behind all their menu grind and then the licenses and all that to kind of cover up, put lipstick on a pig, basically cover up how bad the gameplay is. But at the end of the day, dude, you could put lipstick on a pig, you could put lipstick and polish up a turd, but it's still a pig and it's still a turd, right? And that's FC. UFL, same exact thing, right? Once they realized they couldn't really compete with FC, couldn't really compete and be a true football game, they started leaning into the gimmicky, trashy nonsense, and now look what you have. Game full of glitches that they can't remove, and full of a bunch of gimmicky trash to win the game. That's considered quote-unquote meta. Goals is the only true football game. That's just a fact, right? So even if you use highlights from my first game, where I played terrible, my opponent was terrible, so the game overall you didn't get to see how good it can look. But the second game, it was better. Wasn't the best, but it was better, right? No matter how good or bad each game was, what you can take away is it was me and my opponent that made every decision on that pitch, and that's what decided the match. Not the AI, not anything. My opponent hit the post because he powered his shot up too much. He aimed too far wide. When I missed a pass, right, it was because I overpowered it or misaimed. Same with my opponent when they connected or missed a pass. That's just the truth. So I'm going to get off. I had to get some sleep, dude. I can feel it. I could feel it from the start, man. I definitely was not very clear throughout this whole stream, but hopefully my point at least got across. Even though my words weren't as clear as I wanted. Definitely wasn't any type of eloquent speech or stream that I'm never eloquent, but can at least be better with my explanations than today. It was a lot of I feel like a lot of not getting my point as clear as I wanted, but got to see a couple games, got to hear my point of view. Let me know anything you think about these games, the future of goals. If it's not your favorite football game, what is and why? If you think there's something wrong with goals that I'm missing, tell me what it is. I'd love to talk about it, because me personally, I just can't wait for this final release. Literally, I'm having so much fun at this stage, but it's a little bittersweet because I know eventually, I'm assuming, I could be wrong, because the way they're doing it right now is unprecedented, but I can tell they're getting feedback and getting right to work on the game. Getting feedback, and that's invaluable. The problem is, eventually I have a feeling they're going to shut down the game altogether, because they're going to want to work on certain things and they don't want to give us that super advanced version yet. Probably want to do a full beta release. I'm assuming, right? Maybe I'm wrong and it stays out the whole time, but it's bittersweet because I know it's like a year away to the full release. We don't know when exactly we'll lose this. I know that as much as I like a lot of my players and the team building part, this will all go away and we start from scratch. So it's bittersweet, right? Especially if the game disappears for a while and then it's like, dude, I'll be in denial. Not in denial. I'll be in withdrawal, but I'll just be in a terrible place. Not in denial at all, because this game, make no mistake about it, is coming, and it's coming full throttle ahead. It's going to be the best ever. Mark my words on that. I'll see you later. I'm going to get some sleep, so hopefully next time I can actually speak clear. I'm going to listen to this back. Hopefully it doesn't sound as bad as I feel like it does. Thank you guys, and good night.